coaching linebackers at Tiffin Columbian High School here in Tiffin, Ohio, for the last 5 years. We haven't won a state championship within those 5 years. We actually, my first 2 years, started 2-8 and then 0-10, and then kind of flipped that around. Went 8-2 the next year. Lost the first round of playoffs. Went 9-1. Lost the first round of playoffs. And then this past season, we went 7-1 due to the short COVID season, and then we made it all the way to the state semis, to where we lost the eventual state champions in the state semis. My school in general has never won a state title. This is actually the first regional championship we've ever had. Even though we're kind of traditionally really good, we just, for whatever reason, never been able to get over the hump. But so I've been coaching linebackers here for the last 5 years, but starting next year, I'm actually going to head to Lima Senior High School in Ohio to be their defensive coordinator and work out there.
Yeah, Soma. I'm the offensive line coach at the Wagner Bulldogs in Wagner, Oklahoma. I've been coaching since 2010. I did have a year there where I went to a different school, came back, but we won state championships in 2011, and then we went on a run where we won 3 in a row in 2014, 15, and 16, where we set the 11-man record for consecutive wins at 48 in the state of Oklahoma. And then we just recently won this past season in 2021, went 14-0, and we're a 4A school. I don't know how that equates to Ohio, but we're kind of in the middle as far as size-wise. Not a big school, but not a little school. So we've had a really good run. Graduating, I think we've got 22 seniors, maybe 23. Most of them played. So next year will be a challenge for us. We got some good young guys coming up. Like our chances on down the road. We're predominantly a run-heavy team. What you would call a smash mouth. We're going to run it outside, inside. We'll throw when we have to, but we're going to predominantly control the football, control the game, and wear you out. That's what we do, and we've been pretty successful at that for ever since our head coach has been here. He got there in 2005, and his first year, that's where I got there, but took him to the state championship his first year. Ended up getting beat, but he's very successful. I actually played for his dad in high school, so I've known him for a long time. That's how I ended up here, and it's been a good time. It's fun when you have some good kids to coach and you win. Obviously, it's a lot more fun, but that's where we are right now. What we ran this in our head coach, who also coached our plays, came up with this. This is our blast play. This would be 23 blast, but we changed it over to what we called a cross blast, because we saw their backers are real quick to come up. All right. And both our guards, pretty good sized guys, and to give them an advantage there, because their backers are downhill hard. So he put in that little cut where he starts to the right, and now he's coming back to the left, and that brings those backers up really fast, but yet we're running it the other way, and away from the tight end. So we flop our line. All right. So I've got a strong side and a quick side. All right. So blast is a quick side or a strong side play. And so my strong guard is blocking the first guy past the center, and my strong tackle is back blocking the second guy past the center. Now, if that nose would have been more in a shade to a 1, we would have doubled him there. But got a pretty good center. We're planning on him blocking that nose. So that guard, he's going to take an outside release to either this backer or free safety, that whichever one comes up feels faster. Hopefully that outside backer on the end is going to take an outside release. That's what you would want, because we're coming right under him. So our 2 fullbacks, obviously the left fullback, he's the first to the hole. Then their second fullback on the right, he's kind of swabbing under behind the center and coming into the hole to follow for the running back. So the running back's going to take a couple of steps to the right, get the ball, and then he's cutting back to the left behind those fullbacks in that left side of the line. Now our quick side guys, they are pretty much a zone. Okay, play side gap, head up linebacker. So our guard, he's going to that. He's taking the position step to that backer, and then our tackle there, he's taking that in, and our tight end, depending on what that Sam guy does, if he crosses his face, he's going to take him. If he comes outside of that, he's out of the play. We're going to move on to the second level, and that would be our 23 cross blast. We actually scored. I'm trying to think. Our first play, the second series, 50-yard touchdown run off of this one, I believe it was. And we actually had a lot of success with it in that game, and it worked what we wanted to do.
Alrighty, so we always had our D line that was slanted to our strength, unless we gave them a different call depending on film we would watch that week. So just based off of this, I would have that backside end be coming down into the B gap. My will would then be responsible for that near side A gap, or for the weak side A gap. My nose would slant to the strong side A gap. My Mike would be responsible for that strong side B and strong side C. And then our Sam, we always had, he would jam that tight end, and we would try and extend there, and then he would make his read then off of where he's going to go. Obviously, depending on how well our end gets off that tackle will depend also if he can get back inside there and help out, especially having help from that corner out there. We would also always bring our pirate here. So the reason we bring our pirate, so that would be our weak side outside linebacker, is because for this exact thing, if you were to come weak side, we want him to meet that fullback or that blocker in the backfield and squeeze that down, minimize obviously that gap they can create there. And then we had two really, really good tackling safeties. Both of them actually played linebacker until last year. So being able for that pirate to jam that fullback back down, that left our free safety hopefully able to make that read off where the running back's going to cut and make that tackle. Obviously, what I think a big thing would be there, you saying you're hoping that center's going to one-on-one with our nose. That's why we always tried to have. 2 years ago, we had an all-state nose that this obviously worked a lot better in with our 3-4. So I always drew a double team, and our will linebacker came free a lot. But obviously, that guard climbing, that free safety, you'd have to come down and make a play quick before your fullback could get up to him.
Right.
On second three, especially knowing predominantly run, even if it is pass, we have over the last couple of years had some really good corners that we trust out there a lot. We've blitzed actually like 87% of the time, so this was a big one we used a lot. So like I said, we're still slanting. We would slant that two receiver side, and we would bring our strong side inside and our weak side outside linebackers here. So our ends coming outside. Our Mike will be coming to that B gap. Our nose coming to that strong side A. Our will would be man on the halfback, but also kind of playing through his weak side A gap because he's still responsible for that. My end is going to come down into that B gap. My pirate's coming outside, keeping that contained there. And then we played cover one behind it, so my corners are manned up. My strong side outside linebacker, so my Sam linebacker, is manned on that number 2. The free safety would be manned on that wing fullback player, and then my strong safety would be our cover one, would be our one deep guy. And our safeties, honestly, like I call them free and strong safeties, but they're kind of always interchangeable with us. We don't really pick or choose who's going to be which one.
So we're gonna block down, kick out, obviously. So this would be to our quick side play with our strong guard pulling around to this wheel. So we're gonna take an angle to double the nose with the guard with the right guard in the center. My tackle, he's gonna take a good path to that Mike backer. Now, if the wheel were to come down before the other guard gets there, he'll take him. And then our little up back there, fullback type, and that 2, he's going to kick your end out. And then our little running back, it doesn't look great here, but He's a little guy, not real little, but he's a 2,000-yard rusher, and he's shifty. So your pirate guy, I hope you get him, because if the pirate guy doesn't get him, your free safety's gonna have a hard time. I'm just letting you know.
Our pirate has always been our best tackler.
Well, that's good. You're good. I mean, this guy is
our best tackler every time.
Yeah, he's something. I mean, it's just to see when guys hit him and he still spins off of it, breaks it, whatever. I mean, he's just one of those kids. That's one of the reasons why, we were able to do what we did this year. But yeah, that's the whole deal there. I thought about counter. Obviously, counter would have looked a lot better, but it would have looked a little bit different from your standpoint on the defense. But Power G was a really good play for us the last probably, I think, 5 weeks of the season. It was huge for us in the state title game, and I think in our semifinal game as well too. So, but yeah, that's how we would run that out of the gun. Basically, what we're doing is that first fullback on the right, on the nub side, he's going to read kind of what we're doing with that pirate. Are we able to hook him? If we can hook him, then your will is probably going to have to come hard inside, or he's going to be scraping. So he's kind of watching that. Obviously, we would want to hook the pirate. And then our tailback is actually going to kind of follow him to kind of seal that edge. Obviously, the guard's going to take that in there you got, and then our center's just going to zone up on that Mike backer, scraping across. And on the backside, we're probably we're going to cut that nose out, and then the guard or the tackle on the end's probably going to cut him too, it's a wash. We're just going to cut him out, make him get up, get him a little tired. And then this play's been really, really successful for us, even to the short side. And like I said, that guy carrying the football's a pretty good athlete. He's actually, about 220 pounds, probably about 6 foot 220. He can move pretty good. He also plays linebacker, but that's kind of what we're setting up. Build that, just sweep. It's sweep. I mean, nothing fancy, but you give that look to that heavy side over there, and every now and again you run that sweep to the weak side, and you can get people most of the time.
Big thing, decided not to blitz anybody because we've started playing a couple wing T teams. Obviously, it's a wing T, but big thing we came into a problem with when we get kind of these heavy loads is we over blitz them, and then it's easy they just catch us in their blocks, and now you're just getting to an edge. But so kind of the idea I've got here, again, our Pirates can be lined up that tight end. His whole idea is we want to jam, get some knockback on him, and then obviously read off of where that running back's going to go. Ideally, obviously 90% of the time you don't get any knockback, but if we can at least get in some sort of way of that fullback coming through, that's best case scenario. But then that Will would play that weak side B. Our corner would be our outside player there. All my D linemen are slanting to that strength as usual. And then obviously I think the big difference here would be if my Mike can beat that center or not. I think that's to win that play or not, I think would depend on, does the center get there in time? Ideal here, we're going to thug up our ends and our nose, so we're going to be head up on the both tackles and our center. Our main goal for all three of them, we want knockback, get some pressure into the backfield, kind of cause a pile up. And then what we're going to give them off that two-way goes. And I agree with you, I'm glad it's at the 7 and not the 5, because it gives us a bit room with our linebackers and not have to come downhill so fast. So getting some knockback there, and our linebackers then able to read kind of the backfield and where that's going. And then we just play man behind it where our corner's taking that tight end free safety is going to take your fullback. Mike is technically man on the tailback, but we're not hugely stressing it. And then my strong safety will buzz down, take the number 2 receiver, corners man on the corner out there. And then Sam, as usual, is going to be lined up that tight end. He's going to get knocked back with him as well, and then Reed, whether he needs to go inside or cut outside to help out.
Obviously, tight end on your Sam is the key block there. I was hoping you were going to put that in more on the inside. We could have run a little different blocking scheme with the zone, but I think how we feel is if you got your corner, your wheel over there, and we get one of them blocked, we got a shot. We've got a chance. But we got it. It depends on if your wheel comes inside, and that fullback's got to take that first block that he sees, and then we're one-on-one with your corner out there. That's kind of big. But we're going to hopefully seal off your Mike with the guard, and then the backside guard, he's going to seal off hopefully your pirate there. And then we'll cut on the backside. Obviously, our 2 receivers, the twins over there, mean nothing. They're just going to take off running. We've had a lot of success with this play, especially when you have a pretty good tight end, a very good blocking tight end can really make this play go. If you don't have a good one, you're probably not going to be running behind him like that. So. Well, first, I think I was kind of at first when you messaged me, I was like, what is he? What are we? That's why I kept asking, what are we doing? But this is pretty. I enjoyed this. This is it makes you think a little bit. Obviously, game time it's a little bit different, but just sitting here, out trying to outsmart somebody that you've never met, you don't know tendencies, you don't know who their players are. I like it. This is a really cool experience. So I appreciate you inviting me. As far as in closing, Coach Williams, I think you did a really good job, honestly. And that's about all I got. I mean, hopefully we'll be back to back next year, see what happens in the off season.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun. Kind of got me sweating a little bit, just competitive juices in me got going. Wanted to see, what I had to offer, especially, obviously he's been doing this for a while and has a lot of success with it. And I'm 23 years old, just trying to get my foot in the door. So it was a lot of fun, really. Coach Soma, I'm happy for you. Obviously, win a state title. It's something I hope I get to experience someday, and a lot of coaches don't. Obviously, good luck to you going into this year. I'll probably be looking you guys up now come next fall. see how you're doing. Like, hey, I remember that guy.